Hi, I'm Coleen, and this is the last, maybe, of my tutorials for string piecing. I've tried to keep it really simple and really fast, and no, you don't need a piece of paper. I just like to do it that way sometimes. Not much reason for it. There is a reason why I make these at 7 inches because I want them to fit on the piece of printer paper without me having to glue the papers together. My quilt, my rules. Feel free to make yours. This is actually a very straightforward pattern. Get strips about 1.5 inches, sew them together. I got my ruler and I'll show you how it works tomorrow, Tuesday, October 29th, on my live stream at 7 a.m. And if you saw this the day before, guess what tomorrow is? Guess. I bet you can't guess. You're never going to guess. And I may forget to tell you. And if you did guess, put it in the comments as long as it's nice. I'm going to sew my strips onto the opposite side of the paper. That's why I bent the corners on the paper so I could see where I needed to trim at. It worked in my head at the time that I thought it. And now I'm just sorting all my pieces, my strips. I've said before this would work great with binding strips that are left over. And I'm making sure I've got a 1/2 inch bigger strip than what my lines are. The width of them and the length needs to be a 1/2 inch more. And I'm going to put these all together because I was feeling very brave when I did this. Decided to see if I could cut them all at once. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I am cutting off the salvages. That word is hard on me. I'm just going to start saying salvage like a salvage yard. And y'all are going to forgive me because you're nice people. And then I measured the pieces on my papers to see how long my strips needed to be. And in case I haven't said it, I have put a 7 inch and 14 inch finished template pattern thingy in the description box below. Feel free to grab that. This is going with my breast cancer awareness panel that I have. And I wish that I had done a lot more work on it these last couple weeks when I wasn't on live, but things happen. So I glued my first piece down so it doesn't shift on me, and I just lined my next one up on it. You probably think I'm not going to show you me sewing. Haha, I got you. I feel a little bit goofy today. I'm going to so regret this. Anyway, I'm just finger pressing them instead of stopping and using my iron for every one I've put down. I've done it like that too, though. This way was very efficient on showing you guys how to do it in the camera. So I'm just lining my strips up. I'm not paying attention to the lines on the paper. I'm really just using it so I can see where the top and bottom seams are going to be. Clipping my threads. I'm not back stitching because those are going to have a stitch over them when I put the ends on. I just grabbed all the pinks that I could find. Pinks, one leans more purple, but I'm okay with that. It's got hearts. I figure if it's got hearts, it's okay. And sewing each of them on quickly and finger pressing it back. I'll go all the way to one end and then all the way to the other of the center. I have used 10 strips across the center. That could be different for you depending on if you decided to vary the width of your strips or not. And 6 strips for the 2 tips that go the opposite direction. I was just trimming off using my paper as my template and making sure I had straight edges using a ruler. I got a little sewn to the paper, so I was pulling that off a little bit. Didn't have a whole lot of overlap because I cut fairly well. Okay, not so much on this side, but you know, can't win them all. I'm going 1/4 inch over that line. So I have my seam allowance, and now I will line my raw edges up with right sides facing of the fabric together, pretty sides together, whatever you say that gets you to do it. And again, 1/4 of an inch. And I should have put more green in this. At the time, I had no plan. I just wanted to make these, and so I grabbed a piece of paper, designed that really fast, printed it out, and went for it. I did use green on a couple of the tips, but I've used more green in the rest of my blocks. I really enjoyed the lack of decision making, I guess, to make this, and the lack, not the lack, but not having to measure every block, cut down every block, just grab strips and start sewing them on till your heart's content. And that's exactly what I did. If you need something super easy that's going to let your brain relax for a little while from, you know, a hard sew along, maybe you're designing your own blocks, and that takes brain power. And like that, I've got the other 2 sides done. I have sped this up to 2 or 3 times, but this took maybe 30 minutes, and that includes me picking fabrics. I am using my paper as the template with my ruler and cutting them off, and there we go. That is truly a fast block. I didn't know I love string blocks, and this is a very good reason not to use the paper, which when I show it in my live, I plan on not using the paper. We'll see how that goes. I may change my mind halfway through. No, there shouldn't be any reason you can't do this without papers. That's just silly. And I don't remember if I put on the pattern how long those strips need to be for this. I'm thinking probably 7.5 at the longest point. And that would be the corners that went the opposite direction of the center. I'm not a very good pattern writer. That's why they're free. I'm teasing. I had brain overload. I really did. So when I put the pattern up, I was like, I can explain this. Yet if I remember to, I'll take the time and write down everything that I used, which I usually try to do because I feel bad if I don't. I'm spraying it with some Stay Flow mixed with water. I try to give it time to dry this time. No, I don't usually do that. I usually cook it to my iron. And there we have it. This is a 7.5 inch block when I square it up. So it will be 7 inches in what I am using it for, which is to go around my panels. Had some threads there. Don't panic if it's a little big or a little small. Add another strip, cut it off, trim it up. It's okay. This is strip piecing. It will be very forgiving. And I'll see you all tomorrow, I hope. Have a good day, a good week, a good weekend, and be the light you hope to see in others. Take care.